It's hard for any type of medium to do time travel right. In fact, despite the major success of Doctor Who, there really hasn't been any mind-blowing uses of the time travel themes. Maybe it's just the scientific aspect that's off-putting, or maybe the fear of getting it wrong. Oh, Butterfly Effect 3. But despite the Back to the Futures, Fezzes, and the Joseph Gordon-Willises, up until 2011, time travel in mediums hasn't been done the best. But then something happened. Someone opened the gate. Someone made a little anime that took the community by storm. That anime is Steins Gate. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ocean Planet. My name is WK and today we're going to be talking about Steins Gate. Let's dive in. Steins Gate is an adaptation of a visual novel of the same name and was directed by Takuya Sato and produced by Studio White Fox. It ran from April 2011 until September 2011. Steins Gate follows the group from the Future Gadget Research Laboratory, containing the members Mayuri, Daru, and mad scientist Okabe, also known as These researchers spend their time trying to invent crazy and incredible gadgets, with the only one worth mentioning is a weird microwave that makes bananas turn into a weird green gel. But Steins Gate is of course centered around the idea of parallels and time paradoxes. Because of this, after witnessing a murder, Hyohin Kyoma sends a text to his lab member, whose phone was attached to the microwave, sends the text back in time, altering his current timeline and changing the future. He then learns the consequences of altering something as complex as time. Steins Gate is really a mastermind of suspense and pacing, giving you a whole inside look into the thought process of a mad scientist without giving away too much. In fact, the way Steins Gate adds layers and layers to each individual character gives the cast a development that is unique. One of the main faults of the show, and this is more or less of a subjective, but the show, despite its good pacing and heart-racing moments, has a somewhat slow start. But the moment it's time for suspense to kick in, the show goes into high octane, keeping you at the edge of your seat. Though intricate, Steins Gate brings the concept of time travel to a very understandable yet compelling level, giving us as the audience a thought-provoking narrative. It's almost puzzle-like how each character fits into the timeline and plot as the cogs of destiny truly start to take over. The star attraction of Steins Gate to me is in how well these characters fit into this narrative. With science-y stuff, you need characters that fit the scientist's roles right. Rintaro Okabe, our story's main protagonist, isn't exactly the strongest or the most well-kept character. But because he considers himself a mad scientist, it adds to his whole appeal. He wears a lab coat everywhere, which adds to his overall eccentricness, making him funny but also very knowledgeable. His overall trials to adapt to the time travel he created increasingly gets more serious as the series continues, and just his overall emotion is just so strong that you get to see some really intense scenes where he tries to cope with what he's done. Now, a scientist would be nowhere without his assistants, and Steins Gate does a very good job of making each character meaningful to the story. Characters like Kurisu or Christina, who is the real mind behind Okabe's ideas, almost pokes fun at her own tsundere characteristics, but ultimately is a tsundere. But she isn't overbearing with it. Her addition adds a very intelligent session of dialogue between Okabe and her. She is a neuroscientist who researched in America, so she is a little entitled. But to every tsundere you need the moe to balance it out. This comes from our airhead Mayuri Shina. She can really be summed up by the She enjoys cosplaying and works part-time at a maid cafe, and her overall happy personality adds this great childlike feeling when some scenes start to get a little too scientific. And of course you couldn't have a crew without the Haka. I mean, just look at Lester from GTA. Look at him! Anyway, our hacker is the otaku Daru. Daru almost acts like a straight man, but his interjections are either of the otaku culture or of the sexual nature. But he is a super hacker, giving Okabe his info when necessary, or hacking when the job implies. Each character is very detailed, and side characters are also well polished. Characters like the shy Kiryu, who only talks with primarily text messages, Ruka the he/she, but just remember, she is a he, and even Ferris the Nyan Nyan. The overall interaction between these characters makes the twists and turns of the show surprising and keeps us guessing what each character's true motivations are. Even Dr. Pepper is a character. Dr. Pepper, you the real MVP. The show's overall look is very well adaptable to its setting. Be it the lab, the maid cafe, or even the whole district of Akihabara, it has a very bleak use of colors, usually only accentuating the one true color that stands out. Usually it's Christina's hair. The only thing that's off-putting is maybe some of the character designs where they range from incredible and well-balanced to Slenderman. Sound in Steins Gate plays an important role, but only in some instances. If the microwave is shooting lightning, you get cracks, all the keyboards click and clack, but it's overall basic. Where the sound shines though is in the voice acting. The voice actors play their parts well, but none of them trump Okabe's. His wild personality is very well accompanied by voice actor Mamoru Mayano. If you don't mind the difference between subs or dubs, this one should be watched subbed. As for the openings and endings are standard fare, but the opening hacking to the gate is a fantastic fit to the show. It starts off very electronic with thumping beats almost like a clock and uses cogs in the animation to symbolize time. It's a very well-paced song, ultimately leading into a bridge of epic proportions. All in all, Steins Gate is probably one of the best animes out there. It's lighthearted yet serious, and it takes itself through a thrilling joyride of laughs, tears, and edge-of-seat heart-pounding scenes. Despite some very minor flaws, Steins Gate is one of the overall better science/time/globbly-gloop shows and makes for a very and satisfying journey. With all that being said, Steins Gate gets an overall score of 9.5 out of 10. Once again, thank you guys all for watching, and until next time, keep swimming.